here. In audio. 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 In audio.
Saeed. Saeed, can you hear us, mate?
I don't think so.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. And we are here, 3-point collectors in the building. Let me try and get this camera out because Kaz is here. I don't know why we can't see him. But listen, people, we are here. We're live. We're active. What you lot telling me? We got Neek Sports in the building. Neeks, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be back. Good weekend from Friday onwards in terms of Premier League football for Man United. Can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Absolutely. We got Wes from Holland. You get me? The Netherlands, the Dutch. You know what I mean? It's rising right now. Ten Hag. What are you telling me? Wes? You good?
I'm good. Yeah, definitely. Massive win today. Super positive.
Absolutely. Then we've got man like James in the building. East Stand was rocking today. You know the East Stand's the best stand in the stadium. But yeah, how are you, man? You good?
It is when I'm in it, mate. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I mean, United win, Arsenal drop points, Chelsea drop points, Newcastle drop points, Liverpool are finished. What's not to love?
There you go. Listen, rivals are crumbling, man. Rivals are crumbling indeed. And we've got man like Adam, the professor, in the building. Man like Adam, what are you telling me? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Happy to be back and a pleasure to meet some of you all for the first time.
Absolutely. Big up to everybody who's locked in. This is the debate show. We are here. We're live on a Saturday. I'm just going to bring you the Premier League table right now as things stand. Arsenal dropped points today. It's cut down to, obviously, it's 5 points. Obviously, game in hand for Man City. Tomorrow they can cut down to 2 points. Man United, look where Man United are. 42 points now. 2 points clear of Newcastle, who dropped points. And obviously, we'll see what Spurs are doing, man. But you know what, man, Neeks? Big 3 points there, man. When you look at the table, it's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad at all, man. Not too bad for United.
Massive 3 points. Listen, when they got the goal back 75 minutes, 50 minutes ago, I was thinking, no, don't tell me they're going to get another late draw against us. Because obviously they nicked a late draw at Selhurst Park just a couple of weeks ago. So I was worried. For the last 15 minutes. But in the end, I think we saw it out. I would say the last 5-10 minutes, it was a bit, well, last 5-10 minutes, yeah, it was a bit safer, a bit more composed once the Bitzer came onto the pitch than we were before that, after the red card. But 70-odd minutes was a good game. Like, we played brilliantly, didn't give them a sniff. Davide, they didn't have much to do. It was just that red card that kind of threw the cat amongst the pigeons, as they say. But it was a big 3 points. Obviously, we've got a lot of games coming up in the next couple of weeks, both in the Premier League and in Europa League. We just need to take each game at a time, really. So, yeah, 3 points. Rashford on the score sheet again.
Kaz, what are you telling me, man? You happy, buzzing?
I'm tired. Yeah, Stretford then tires you out, man. Yeah, I'm Gucci, man. I'm sitting. I'm you know what? As long as I'm better than Liverpool, I don't mind. Right now, I don't, like, Liverpool. How do you hold 3-0 to Wolves, man? Honestly, but yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. Casemiro should be able to get over the line, innit? Without him, to be fair, it's only Leeds at, like, come on, man. What, 30 wins on a trot at Old Trafford?
Yeah.
And you want me to be scared of Leeds and Leicester right now?
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Wes, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling? The Dutch master's doing well, man. Listen, bring us more Dutch, you know what I mean, happiness, man. Erik ten Hag is the man. Is the man.
He is the man. He revolutionized his team. Like what he's doing now, like in such a short time, is incredible. Like it exceeded my expectation, probably yours as well. Like we were down, like deep in a down dark hole. And I thought, yeah, it's going to be worse before it gets better. But he's climbing the mountain pretty fast. So yeah, he's stabilized the team. You can see the difference how he's playing now and in the beginning of the season. In the beginning of the season, he focused purely on the defense. Like that's what you normally do. Like when you're taking over a team for the first time, you set the defense, and now you see more pattern of play, more style of play, and yeah, it's exciting. It's a massive win. I thought the second goal with Rashford again was massive, and yeah, we got it over the line. I thought, like as someone said before, like that as soon as the 2-1 came in, I thought, ooh, now we're struggling, and we managed to do it, and that's a massive positive that the team stuck together, fought for everything, and that's a massive positive. So yeah, good today.
Big up to Alien Tenor says, Said, fuck this, I'm getting giddy. Not gonna lie. Listen, man, you know what? You can be giddy, James, when you're winning every game at home. Listen, one loss at home. I said it in my match reaction. For those that haven't watched my match reaction, go check it out now. Old Trafford's a fortress, man. You know what I mean? It's one loss at home all season. 2 losses at home all season, if you include Europa League, which I think was a bit of a crazy one. But, bro, listen, resilient United now. Martinez and Varane are defending like animals, man. It's crazy.
Mate, if you can't be giddy when your team has won 12 in a row at home, and if you can't be giddy when your team has only lost 1 at home all season, when you're sitting in 3rd in the league, when statistically last season you had your worst ever Premier League season with 58 points and a 0 goal difference, then what are you going to be giddy about? Like, I'm a football fan. I'm there. I'm emotional. Like, of course I'm going to get giddy. Like, it's not a bad thing to love your football team and get excited when they're doing well and celebrate their achievements. You mentioned the defence, like Varane and Martinez are superb. Like, our defensive shape when we had 11 men off the ball is superb, mate. Like, honestly, we are so tough to break down. Martinez is in a different world, mate. Honestly, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's so calm. He's great on the ball. Luke Shaw, technically very good. Wan-Bissaka's made amazing strides going forward, and defensively he's solid. Varane, we know what Varane is. He's very solid. And when Casemiro is in front of him, we're just incredibly tough to break down. And yeah, listen, we may not win the title this season. I know people don't want to hear that, but defence does win you titles, and defence makes very good teams. And you have to be able to defend first, and then you build from that. And like Wes said before, that's what Erik ten Hag has done. He's come in, he's solidified the defence, he's got us, you know, so we, more often than not, we only have to score 1 goal to win a game. And when you've got people like Marcus Rashford in your team, anything can happen. You can always score a goal. And that second goal, like Wes touched on as well, is one of the best goals I've seen all season. Like, first touch, interchange, interplay, loads of different players involved. A calm finish from Rashford, not laced it, not powered it, just opened his foot out, side foot into the corner. So good to see, mate. And yeah, Giddy FC, say whatever you want, mate. Man United, we're back. I told people this. We are back.
You know what, Adam? You know, this is a good point here from Jeremy. He says last season we would have lost that game. You know, there's a shift in mentality now to not give in now. There's a kind of steelness of Man United. Last season would have been we would have crumbled, Adam. You know what I mean? This season now, yes, the referee was an absolute joke today and could have cost us the 3 points, but you know, yeah, we will get onto the referee, by the way. He's an absolute joke, Andre Manera, today. But Adam, man, it's a huge step, and it's another game that we won at home where we would have lost it last season or would have crumbled last season.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I said this about 2 or 3 years ago. You cannot have players with great character and great mentality if their manager isn't the same. You never see great captains don't have great managers. Like the big captains like Vieira, like Keane, like Company. They had the Jose, they had Sir Alex Ferguson, they had great managers before them. We wouldn't have this situation if we didn't have a manager that I think is absolutely doing a fantastic job. I think Ten Hag, I'm a big fan. I was a fan before. But the thing is, he got the mentality right. And that is the most important thing, because now we have players that still shouldn't be playing for Manchester United, at least shouldn't be starters for Manchester United. But at least you can get the best version out of those players. And that is the biggest difference in the whole work. Like, for example, Aaron Bissaka, I thought for years that Aaron Bissaka was not even a footballer. But to be honest, I have to give the man his credit. I have to give him I've never rated him as a player, but he has all of my respect. And you see him coming in, doing a job. You see players Bruno Fernandes, you know, I've been criticizing Bruno for probably ever since we signed him. I don't rate him that highly. Recently, I've been a fan of Bruno. He keeps it way more simple. He runs. His work rate is stunning. He never stops running. I respect. You have to admire that. You just have to. And so many other players. Luke Shaw. My problem with Luke Shaw for years has not been the quality of the player. I think he's a very, very, very good footballer. And you can judge it by the first touch. He kills it dead all the time. Very, very good footballer. If he's not challenged, if he gets comfortable, if he gets overweight, he will take the easy route every single time. And now we've seen it with another manager that comes in and said, you know what, I've just signed a left back that is very intelligent in Malacia. And he maybe is not as gifted as you are, but I will pick the one that gives me what I want and give me honest work. And that is, you can't ask for more than that. And now you see Luke Shaw is playing, he's very good. He's always been good. But now he feels like he plays
consistent.
Exactly. He plays with responsibility. We had players coming in. Yeah, we may win, we may lose with Ole, with Ragnick, and then they go back home. They were complaining for training in the dark last season, which was embarrassing. And now all of a sudden you have players like Casemiro, like Martinez, who play and they defend because, yes, it's their centre backs and midfielders, but they love defending and they feel they have a duty to defend. It's their responsibility. And if something happens and I can do something to prevent it, even if it's not my job, it is my duty to do it. And that is all down to Ten Hag.
Kaz, what did you think that stood out for you, the game today? What was your kind of take on it?
Pretty much what we do all season, man. You know the way we win the ball back? You know, like that. So for me, it's the way we win the ball back and everyone's running. Like as soon as we lose the ball, I think I counted about 3 or 4 seconds. We're back to win it again. Yeah. And the first person to lead that, which people don't want to hear, Weghorst in the first 30 minutes created 3 errors from their own goalkeeper. We didn't put it to bed, but you won't get that credit. Do you know what I mean? Fred made a couple of loose passes, and what people remember, but they won't remember the Fred that's absolutely dogging it towards the other end of the half, past when Casemiro gets sent off. And for me, that's why Fred's the man of the match, is because this is why I say that win defines our season, I reckon, especially at home. You know, so for me, with that Crystal Palace, it's one of the most important wins we can get, especially down to 10 men. It shows more resilience again. Like, we come back from 1-0 down against City. Now we come against 10 men against Palace, who are pretty much all over us towards the end, of course. And we held on, man. And that's why I say it's top 3. For me, top 3 performances, whether you like it or not, it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. It was going to be a bit madness. And for those that didn't see it, the Casemiro situation, I thought at one point it was Fred that got a red card from where I was. But here's the footage, people. For those that don't know what happened. If you look at it here, though, it's all madness. It's all a madness. But
You see, for me, Said,
yeah,
I think there's a couple of ways I look at this. First and foremost, Casemiro needs to be smarter.
yeah,
Like, we can't come into a situation like that and he ends up being the one with the red card when it was a situation that was instigated by Crystal Palace. Like, if anyone's going to get punished after that, we need to make sure it's Crystal Palace. So if you're going to dive on the floor because someone touched you on the face, then do that. But you can't come out of that situation and wear down to 10 men when really and truly Schlupp's challenge was it was a bad challenge. Now, it's not a bad challenge because it was high or dangerous, but the intent to actually shove Anthony towards and ultimately into the boardings, that is a bad challenge because he was never going to get the ball. He intended to foul him and push him down the pitch into the hoarding. So you can't come out of that situation with us having the red. So from a senior professional, one of the leaders in our squad, it was very silly. However, obviously, when you look at the incident, you can see that both from Hughes' reaction or lack of reaction, should I say, and then
exactly.
There's a bit of an embrace at the end of all of it between the two, and there was no appeal. Hughes didn't go onto the floor. He didn't run over to the ref. There wasn't even a retaliation from Hughes towards Casemiro, because that means clearly whatever was going on there, it wasn't what it looked like. Like, it looks like he could be strangling him, but clearly it wasn't really, because if someone's strangling you, you're gonna react to do something back to them. Hughes never had that intention. So by the looks of it, by the video, the picture, I understand 100% why he was sent off. I don't think it's the wrong decision to make. But when now we've got all these different angles and maybe a more holistic view of it, after I was like, I don't know if it's worth appealing. And maybe, you know what, maybe they're going to stick with the decision because ultimately his hand was above the shoulder. It was on his neck. They can still get out on that. But I don't think it will be a frivolous appeal. I think it might be worth appealing. And I don't think the Premier League would have grounds to add an additional game, because that's the danger. If you appeal and they say it's a frivolous one, then he's going to miss the final. So do you just accept it, even though you've got a chance of getting him off at the risk of missing the final? That's the danger. But it looks worse than it is, but I understand the decision.
Big up to Ivan Smith says, appeal the red card. It's a disgrace. Wes, the thing is, for me, is I don't necessarily disagree with if it's a red card, but it has to be consistent. No, the guy, what's his name? There's a guy. What was his name? The guy that should have got a red card as well.
Ayew
should get a red card.
That was violent. Like, he was angry, and that has to be a red.
I mean, I totally agree with the comments Ten Hag made to Fire Play in Dutch, and basically he said that the inconsistency is a problem, so they only pick and choose which one to punish. Yep. So it's a scramble, everything happens, which is also, I think you can see it's also a positive that the team sticks up for each other, which is a big positive for me, so you don't get bullied over. On the red card, I can see why they gave it the red card, as you said before. I mean, I don't think I don't think appealing will succeed. I would just say it is what it is, and Casemiro will know that wasn't a smart move. But it's just the consistency which I have a problem with. And that's also what Ten Hag said in the there's the shot. Yeah, I mean, if Casemiro is a red card, then this is worse. I think. So. I mean, it's a scramble. I mean, if you punish someone, you need to punish them all, or give more yellows, whatever. Not just pick and choose which one. And of course, when you freeze the screen, it looks way worse. And as Nick said, I mean, they embraced each other after it. Like, it wasn't that it really grabbed his throat that bad, It's just like more in the heat of the moment, and all sort of things happen, And you have to take that in mind when making a decision, not just look at the screen and see it black and white, That's what I feel. But I can understand why they gave him a red card. And personally, I wouldn't try to appeal it because I think it will backfire. I would just leave it. I thought that Sabitzer cameo did well, and maybe get him some game time. I think he will do well with Fred next to him. That's what I think about it.
James, you kind of disagreed there. What do you think? You was kind of nodding your head there. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what's your kind of look on it? This whole red card situation.
Listen, I agree on some bits, but I disagree with a lot. So I'll go through the bits that I agree with. I agree with the fact that it's not worth appealing. There is a 100% chance that appeal gets rejected. He's got two hands around his throat. There is no way that that is considered frivolous in an appeal. And the fact that you think you should risk that for a final is ridiculous. Like, he's out for 3 games. He put 2 arms or 2 hands around the throat of an opponent, which is clearly illegal in football and deserving of a red card. So that's the first thing I disagree. The appeal, like, no way should you appeal it, because we need to take off our Manchester United specs, right? The thing I do agree with is that Ayew should be a red if Casemiro is a red. Of course it should. He puts his hands around his neck. However, 2 wrongs do not make a right. You cannot justify what Casemiro did by saying, oh, Ayew did the same. Casemiro's is a red card. End of discussion. There's no 2 ways about that. And the whole point about, oh, they embraced each other, there's nothing in it. Boxers punch 10 tons of shit out of each other for 12 rounds and then go and embrace each other at the end of a fight. Embracing each other has nothing to do with the seriousness of the crime at the point. He's put 2 hands around his throat. Take off Manchester United tinted goggles, please, for the love of God. If that was an opposition player strangling Martinez or strangling Casemiro, you'd all be absolutely screaming it's a red card. It's 100% a red card. And the fact that Ayew should have had one doesn't change the fact that Casemiro did. Now, Mariner was shocking. We all know he was shocking throughout the game. He gave horrendous decision after horrendous decision. But the Casemiro red card is not a poor decision. It's 100% the right call.
I think everyone said that it was a red card, including myself.
It's not the fact that you didn't say it's a red card. It's the fact that you were trying to justify it by the Ayew decision and then also justifying it by the result and the embracement afterwards, which has nothing to do with that fact.
No, what I said was, I said it was a red card. I said it was the correct decision because you can't put your hands above the shoulder. That was my point. I didn't excuse that. And I said the first thing I actually said was that Casemiro was in the wrong. He should never have done that. Like, it was a silly decision from him. I was making a holistic analysis to clearly, for me, there was no malicious intent. It's like, for example, if you're going for a tackle and you don't intend to endanger an opponent, but it's a high tackle.
Mate, if I don't intend to put my hands around your throat, I don't put my hands around your throat. It's simple. It's very intentional. If I want to put my hands around your throat, I do that. If I don't, I keep them by my side. Simple.
No. But I'm not talking about the intent to put his hand around the throat. The intent to strangle or to harm or to.
But that's not the rule. The rule isn't strangling. The rule has nothing to do with strangling.
This will be my question. Was Casemiro violent towards?
That's what I was going to say.
Rule.
No.
That's not the rule. Stop making up rules.
No, James, because he got sent off for violent conduct. So what you're saying is that conduct was violent. So my question would be: was his action violent? I'm not saying.
Read the definition. Read the definition. The violent conduct is placing your hands above the shoulder of an opponent. That's what violent conduct is. It doesn't mean intent to harm. If you place your hands there or there, push him in. If you poke him in the eye, if you push him in the forehead, it's a sending off.
Then half the team should have got sent off then, both Man United, that, because I saw hands in front of me in every other's face.
Yes, and they should have got sent off. The inconsistency of the refereeing are there.
Exactly.
But you cannot justify it by saying that's wrong, so that's wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fucking nonsense. It's nonsense, the fact you're trying to justify it. It's fucking nonsense.
I think
it's a red.
You're completely misunderstanding because I've said 2 things. Casemiro was in the wrong and the red was the right decision by the letter of the law. What I'm saying, so that's that. He should have been sent off by the letter of the law. Correct decision.
Yes.
I'm saying it was not malicious intent. That's separate. That's a statement of
correct.
Opinion.
But that's not the rule.
No, that's fine. No, but that's fine. It's a statement of
but
opinion.
But you're also trying to justify an appeal, which would get rejected.
No, I said it's probably not worth it because it's probably going to get an extra ban. If there was,
you said it may not be frivolous.
No, it may not be frivolous. They may deem it not to be frivolous. I'm saying if there wasn't a cup final, for example, I would appeal it. If there wasn't a cup final, I'll appeal it. But
then you get a 4-game ban. 100% you get a 4-game. If I'm in charge of the FA and you appeal that, I'm like, you're a joker.
Yeah, maybe, but I will do it because for me,
you know what?
I mean, the whole refereeing should be questioned. So only because there's a final, I wouldn't do it. But if there was no final, I'd appeal it because it was the whole referee and around that whole incident was a joke.
That makes sense. Adam, what are you
It's the
going to
most
say, Adam?
blatant red card you're ever going to see, by the way. Like, literally, you've done that on an opponent. It's blatant.
What about on Ericsson? That wasn't. What about on Ericsson? That wasn't. What about Fabinho? I've seen more blatant.
That was
red
blatant.
cards.
That was also blatant.
But you're saying it's the most blatant. I've seen more blatant red cards not given. So there's
The rule is that he did that. There's a still of him doing that. There's a video of him doing that. He's off. Like, he might be our best player, but he's off. End of.
There's big inconsistencies. That's all I'm saying. There's big inconsistencies.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it is. Bro, it's mad.
Yeah. You know what? I just like to add a little nuance, maybe, because I agree with what James said. It's not a good look. If you do that, you get a red card. Fine. But then again, because it is considered violent conduct, so that's the rule. But then again, you see the RU clip, Jordan RU, I don't know what his name is, and he does the same thing, and his hand is over.
Should have been sent off, but wasn't.
But it hasn't been. So
Yes,
then
it should have been.
Should have been. So now
Yes, correct.
the rules are not fairly applied. So now you need to have a conversation. If the rules were both fairly applied, you're right on the entire line, and I agree with you 100%. So now you're telling me this has been a red card and this isn't. Why so?
Doesn't work like that, mate. It doesn't work like that. If you're a defense lawyer, and one of your clients has murdered someone, you don't go, "Oh, that person murdered someone and got away with it, so my client should get away with it." That's not how law works. You can't justify something by the actions of someone else.
In law, you have precedent.
Comparison either.
You can't. You literally can't say that.
In
You're
law, you
trying
have
to
precedent.
justify something being right with something else being wrong. It's stupid.
No, but
Because
You're
But
just
James, the
literally
question is, the question that you're asking them is what is right and what is wrong? Because in law, there's
That
precedent.
is wrong.
But by
If that was a Palace player, right? Last thing, if that was a Palace player, is it a red?
James, by their
It's fucking done.
assessment, 2 incidents have happened in the same
James,
time.
chill.
They've deemed one to be a red, and they've deemed one to be nothing. So you're right. The question needs to be asked: was IU's violent conduct? If they say yes, then you say, okay, cool. There's no need to appeal because hands above the chest. But if they say no, IU was not, then that means the Casemiro appeal is valid because both of them did similar things. If anything, was worse. So
Because you know
James, I don't think Leaks is justifying. I just think he's trying to look at.
I think James is taking it completely.
Yeah. I think he's just
Actually-
But this whole conversation would not be happening if it was the other team. If IU got the red and Casemiro didn't, we would not be having this conversation saying that IU should appeal it because Casemiro got away with it. You wouldn't be having that conversation.
If you are honest, regardless of the club you support, you say we got lucky there because he should have got a red card. The thing is, I agree with James. I really do agree with James. The thing is, I'm just questioning. Okay, so now, and I'm not even trying to justify Casemiro. It's not a good look. It really isn't. But now you're telling me that this one did this is considered violent conduct, and this one did something that should be considered conduct as well. But this one didn't get a red card. So now I want to understand what is the thought process of the people taking the decisions. Because if they base their decision on context, well, then you need to consider the context for both situations, and that implies that Casemiro had no intent to hurt, and he was embracing the guy after. Then you consider those factors. But if context is not, if they didn't base the decision on context, well, then you don't consider those factors. It's just inconsistent. They should.
Correct. However, what I would say, I don't think, like, if you look in the referee's report or in the VAR report after the game, I don't think that IU incident will come up because I don't think they saw it. I think they went to VAR to look at that incident. I don't think they saw the IU thing. If they see the IU thing, I'm pretty sure they send him off. I'm pretty sure they do.
Maybe, but they went to the VAR not because of.
Yeah, but the VAR is there to look at a specific incident.
Yeah, the one.
It's there to look at that. We've only noticed that because we've slowed it down massively. They've gone to look at it because the linesman has probably said, "Oh, he had his hands up there. Have a look at it."
The referees were joking.
VAR didn't go for the Casemiro thing. They went for the Anthony, and then someone in the room said, "Hey, referee, maybe you should look at this."
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to Ben 84 says Romero Cucurella was worse than this fact, and no red was given. Listen, I want to move on. From that. No, but it is relevant because we need to compare the two, James. Come on, man. You got to be. No, but it is though. You've got to compare.
It's not. No, Saeed. You need to be able to take a situation at face value. You can't use other situations for justification of a situation to suit you.
inconsistencies in referees. We're not highlighting.
Of
the
course
decision.
there is, but that doesn't change that. It's still
Oh,
a
we
red.
can talk about it, though, bro. We can talk about it. It's not. We're not trying to justify it. We're not here. Casemiro
Yes.
should have got a red card. Simple.
Simple.
All I'm saying to you
Simple.
is that we're
Done.
highlighting the inconsistencies of refereeing. That's all, James.
Yeah, and there was a lot today. That's fine.
The question is
there
not
you go.
why. The question
you
is
go.
not why did Casemiro receive a red card. The question is why did the others not receive a red
Yeah.
card?
Yes, that's fine.
That's the.
And they
That's the
should have done. And they should have done.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Let me
you
go
why,
back
Adam.
to,
I'll tell you why, Adam.
yeah. Let me
Because
go to. Yeah,
because
exactly.
they blew up the Bruno Rashford offside, and ever since then, Man United can't get a decision. I was surprised we got the penalty today. Since
Yeah, I know.
thing-
First penalty in a while.
since that went viral,
Crazy.
Man United have not. Andy Carroll made 3 challenges that were all like
Yeah.
bordering on red cards and got 2 yellows.
Yeah.
The
They
first
would have
one
blocked
didn't.
him.
The
They
first
would
one
have blocked
didn't
him.
even get a card.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Yeah.
How
By the
about
way, Anthony also stepped on someone's ankle, going completely out of stride. Stepped on his ankle, could have broken it, so he should have got a red as well. Just for like clarity on both ends. That clip is doing the rounds on Twitter. If you look at Anthony
I need to
in
see that
midweek
one.
against, but he should 100% be sent off for that.
I want to
100%.
go back to. I want to go back to Wes. Big up to everybody who's watching. By the way, there's over 900 of you in the chat. Please smash a like on the video. This is a very, very good debate show. Saturdays we always have a debate show. We keep it football related. Listen, nobody's gonna be, falling out on it. We're having a debate, people. Football debate. But Wes, it's gonna be a big miss. 3 games out. Obviously, Sabitzer came in and had a very good cameo, etc., etc. But it's a big miss. 3 games. He misses 2 Leeds games and 1 Leicester game. How are you concerned? Are you going to be all right?
I think so. I mean, I think we should be fine. We should have the confidence. We shouldn't be really relying on Casemiro. Of course, we do rely on him because he's an incredible player and so valuable. His leadership normally. But I think we will be fine. And it will be good to integrate Sabitzer in the team. It is a shame because I would have loved to have him in those games, especially Leeds. It's going to be a physical game. But I think we can manage those 3 games well.
What do you say, Cuz? We're gonna miss him.
Casemiro is a blessing in disguise. Let me tell you why. Because we all
No,
talk about
hold on.
rotation, yeah. Well,
Did you
you talk
just
about
say-
rotation, it's a blessing in it. Because when he comes back against Barcelona, yeah, he's gonna be fully fit and fresh. I'm not saying I wanted him. If I could have him, I would. But then that means all these games. How many games have we got left, by the way, in 28 days?
A lot of games.
A lot of games. So another 6 games, I reckon, by the time that's finished, we got a Casemiro who can keep going. You know what I mean? It might. If we I'm not being funny. We won 13 games on the bounce. We need to learn to win without Casemiro in the team, anyways, right?
Yes.
I'm not being funny. At Old Trafford, it's flipping Leeds and Leicester. It's the Leeds away game that might be a bit different.
Yeah.
But I think Fred and Sabitzer pivot could be very good. I think they balance each other out very well. So, look, Casemiro's gone. Don't appeal it. Don't be stupid. Save him. He's going to be fresh for the final as well. How about that? Did anyone look at it like that, by the way? No? Thank you. Okay.
No, yeah, I agree. I think
That's a glass half
exactly.
full look.
the fact that we got those 2 Barca games there, it's not like he's going to be out for not playing at all until the final. He's got 2 games in between. The only concern I have is that we've only got 2 midfielders, because
It is true.
McTominay's out, Eriksen's out, Van der Beek's out. We literally got Fred and Sabitzer. But a few days ago, when in the morning when Eriksen we heard was out, I didn't think we were going to have Sabitzer, so I can't complain too much. At least we got Sabitzer, and I'm sure
It's mad though to think though, Neeks, that we got Sabitzer in, but just imagine like we didn't, and then Casemiro got this red card. I know there's a lot of ifs and buts, but it's crazy, man.
But you're right, Saeed, because it shouldn't have taken an Eriksen injury to get a midfielder in January. Because imagine Eriksen got the injury in this game, transfer window's closed, and Casemiro then gets a red card. We're screwed. But it is what it is. At least we got him, innit?
Big up to Diraj says Casemiro used to get away with murder in La Liga. Listen, Casemiro used to get a lot of red cards, man. So it's not as
This
if
is his
it's
first
not.
straight red card. Did you know?
Oh,
It's
his
his first
career.
one, yeah.
It's his first straight one. In the La Liga, he got multiple red cards, but it was always 2 yellows.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
I was
Wow,
surprised.
that's
I thought
crazy.
he's a bit of a nasty
So-
player sometimes.
It
Yeah.
makes sense as well because he's a defensive player, and he's an intelligent player. So if he's reckless and defensive, he's going to get a red card, straight ones. But since he's intelligent, sometimes he has to make a foul. He just has to.
Yeah.
Tactically, though, Adam, are we going to miss him tactically for you? You're looking at the game, how we play. You know, are we going to miss him?
Especially against Leeds, because Ten Hag
Oh.
is a football manager. He wants to play with the ball, and we are seeing progress in that regard. We are seeing today we kept the ball very well for most parts of the game. And Jesse March is a Red Bull Leipzig manager. He's a counter gegenpress manager, like in the same vein of Rangnick and Klopp. So stylistically, the Leipzig, Salzburg, and now Leeds brand of football is most suited to teams that want to play with the ball and possession-based football. That's why Klopp is the biggest problem for Pep and has always been throughout his career, because stylistically they clash. And we are not good enough yet of a team with the ball. We are still 6 months in only. So I think stylistically, this might be a very difficult game. Just on the tactics, if they keep pressing and running like mad dogs, which I expect from Leeds,
Yeah.
Fred is not strong enough at times. So we have players that are a bit erratic. If we lose control of the games, you can expect poor performances from Fred, from Bruno, from Rashford, and from Aaron Bissaka, because they can't keep their cool at some point. They will start doing the mistakes that we always criticize them for. And I don't think we're going to get the best versions of them as we've seen recently. So I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But stylistically, this is the game that those two games, I think they scare me the most, to be honest.
Leeds
You know what?
gave
It's
Arsenal one of their toughest tests. Leeds gave Arsenal one of their toughest tests this season when they went to Ellen
Yeah.
Road. They won that game. They're not an easy side.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're a team that I think, you know what, when you play against them, they'll rise up to Leeds, James. They'll rise up to United. Sorry, I know we've beaten them before with McTominay and Fred, and you know it's been very, very fairly easy games. But they've got Weston McKennie now. They've got a couple of runners in that midfield. Adam is right. You know, we're going to be light in that midfield because we do have Sabitzer, who again is going to get a put straight into the deep end. And like I said, he'll deal with it because he's been on bigger occasions. But it's a Premier League. You need time to adapt. So I hope he doesn't get bashed, and you know what I mean, because he has two performances that are bad, because he's going in right into the deep end here from here on.
Yeah, Leeds is going to be tough, mate. There's no two doubts, no two ways about that. Adam is right that technically we may struggle, but that's where, if technically you may struggle, then mentally you have to be really tough and really strong. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people tend to overlook in this Ten Hag thing. Like when we lost Casemiro for Arsenal, I saw a lot of people that were raving about Ten Hag and then all of a sudden crying when Casemiro's out, saying we can't beat Arsenal now. And as it turned out, we didn't beat Arsenal, but we came very, very close to a result. And this is where I kind of have a problem with what people say, because I think Wes said before, and I completely agree with this, that Casemiro is world class. So you are going to miss it. Like, there is going to be a drop off no matter who you play instead of Casemiro. But then on the flip side of that, Man United aren't a one-man team under Eric Ten Hag. So if you trust the abilities of the manager, you have to trust the abilities and you have to trust the fact that he can get organisation out of a group of players and implement tactics to beat the other team. So I look at Leeds at home, Leeds away, and Leicester at home, and I look at the manager that we've got, and I look at the fact we've won 13 in a row at home, and I look at the fact that we've lost one game in 23, and I'm like, you know what? Yes, Casemiro's a miss, but I fancy us to win those games. I really do. I back our manager. I think he's the best thing to happen to this football club in over 10 years. And yes, we are going to miss Casemiro, but I don't agree with the negativity of people just thinking we're going to drop points because Casemiro's out. And I look at it a lot like Kaz did, in the fact that, listen, he could get a rest before Barca. He could get a rest before the cup final. They are games that we are going to need Casemiro in. Sabitzer has been brought in to do a job. He looks very technically assured. He's got a lot of energy to get about the pitch. He's technically probably not as good on the ball as Eriksen, although he's not bad, but he's much better defensively, right? And he gives a lot of energy. And with a midfield three of him, Fred, and Bruno, you're going to get tons of energy, tons of pressing. You're going to get people that can run for 90 minutes and a team that's going to be excellent off the ball, because Fred, Bruno, and Sabitzer are all very, very good off the ball. So I'm going to choose to be positive about the next three games. And yes, unfortunately, Casemiro is missing, but I still don't see it affecting us that bad. I think Ten Hag has things in place where we can get results against Leeds and Leicester.
What's the odds
Kaz,
of
what were you
us? So what's the odds of us playing Lindelof? Because I say that because
Lindelof in the six.
yeah, because obviously we've had Casemiro and McTominay. Those have been the sixes this season. Fred hasn't, as far as I remember, Fred hasn't played the six. It's been Fred or Eric in the and obviously Bruno as well there as well. Kind of pushing further forward. If we go against Leeds with Bruno, Fred, and Sabitzer, who's playing the six? Because Sabitzer's not a six. Fred is.
He's
Fred
played six. He's played six for Leipzig now.
Okay, I can't say I remember seeing him there, but I'll take your word for it.
He's better as box to box though, and going
He's
forward.
more box to box, yeah, but he could do a
Yeah,
six.
and
He could do
Fred
a
He's
good
played
six.
6, 8, and 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, maybe potentially he plays him in there, but I was wondering because I know he mentioned Lindelof in the six midweek, wasn't it? I think
He
he
played.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came on in the 6 against Forest. Yeah.
and when he was at
I think-
Benfica, he's played in the six as well. So I just wonder
If he's gonna throw him, he can't throw six in the deep end. It's like, okay, if you're 2-0 up against Leeds, throw him in the six to see how he does. But then again, it kind of proves your point. Well, we're not conceding, so why do I need to throw Lindelof in the six anyways? Unless you want to do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't throw him right there. I don't know if he can do it. I'll be honest. You have to be so sharp.
What would you do, Wes? You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know what I mean. Sabitzer, from what you know of him, is more of a kind of an 8, more 10 / role. What would you do? Because at the end of the day, we could have a double pivot of Fred and you know Sabitzer. But what would you do?
I mean, maybe it sounds stupid to throw Lindelof at CDM. I won't go for that option, but it is an option that Tana can choose from. But I would go with Sabitzer. I think he has the leadership, the quality, the personality to handle that well. I think we will see. I think we will be surprised. I think I think we're in for a surprise at least with Sabitzer and Fred. I think it will work well. Yeah, so I would go for that. I mean, obviously the team picks itself for the rest. Maybe not, but I would start Weghorst. I mean, as who said that? Maybe Cam said that the praise that Weghorst gets for his constantly pressing and running. I mean, that goes unnoticed because as a striker, you're here to score goals. But he works with a team, and it also gives us a different dynamic when we can rotate, as we seen when the second goal for Rashford came in. Tanaka said it himself, but I noticed it when watching the game. It gives the team a different look. So it's a different threat if you have Weghorst as a 9 or maybe Rashford as a 9. You always need to be switched on. And of course, the interchanging between Anthony and Rashford, switching sides. I think the team picks itself. But I would go for Sabitzer in midfield next to Fred. I think both have the energy, both have the intensity you need in that sort of a game. And I think both have the quality when we need it, and especially Sabitzer from what I've seen. But we need to see it. It's just he is new. He needs to get his feet on the ground and we'll see. But I would go with Sabitzer. Yeah, I think he's ready for it.
You know what, Adam, today, man, big win, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've been talking about this Casemiro, whatnot. United a third in the league. You know what I mean? With bro, like it's crazy, man. This season, man, it's mad.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What a win today, man. We're not even giving ourselves enough credit, man. Today was a big win, man. Massive win.
Massive. And I just hope we never play Palace again this season, man. I'm fed up of these lot, man. They are so annoying. Like it felt like we were playing Wolves, like from 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
You know, that teams that it just annoys the laugh out of you, and you play them about 7 times this season. You're just, man, these again. They never die. But yeah, man, massive. It's a weird season. We play every 3 days. I just hope, and I just wish we had better players, to be honest, or at least more players.
More depth,
We could be very serious. Like, look at just how everything stepped up from almost everybody in the squad. If we had, and I told you we needed 2 midfielders and 2 centre backs last season, and it showed. And we needed about 7 players. Ragnick was spot on about bringing 7 to 10 players. We really needed those, just for the numbers, just for the bodies, because Cavani, Ronaldo, all of those players left. Matic, Lingard, Pogba, Mata, those are players that can actually just play, not without being your first option or your dream players, but they can actually just come in. And now we have this problem where at least Sancho's coming back.
Mm.
I think Sancho. I said it before he went for the last 3 months in October. I was not agreeing with people criticizing Sancho that much. I didn't think at all he was poor, or at least not nowhere near as poor as people were saying at the time. And I told the same thing about Varane last season. People telling me Lindelof had a better season than Varane. You have certain players that are making it a bit too easy and making it look too easy for their own good. What they do doesn't get enough recognition because what they do is just sheer class all the time. Carrick used to be like this, Pirlo used to be like this, Jorginho, Marco Verratti, and Varane is one of those players. And I think Sancho, if you think back when we had that period after the heavy City loss, when we went on a good run and we were actually playing our best football of the season, when we beat Spurs and that run of games after that. Sancho was playing on the left, Anthony on the right, and Marcus Rashford was playing at number 9. And ever since Sancho left the team, and people were criticizing it, Rashford moved to the left. But when Sancho was still on the left, we were creating a lot of chances. We were just not converting them. If you look back and think and go watch those games, Rashford was missing a lot of chances at number 9. And that's fine, happens. But we were creating a lot. And we were, for the first time, seeing Ten Hag football. Then Rashford moved to the left. Sancho went because he had his personal issues. And then all of a sudden, despite Rashford scoring most his goals probably after the World Cup, the whole team started to look a bit disrupted and not creating enough chances. And at the moment, we don't score and we don't create enough chances, despite Rashford being on a good form. And look, if today we had a penalty, basically we created 1 or 2 chances-ish. It could have been 1-1 today. We could have lost that game in different circumstances. So I think Sancho coming back into the team and being a player that is just like Anthony Martial, just like Casemiro is, look for the pass, keep it simple, move it. Those things are important, but they are it's so ungrateful. It's just they don't get noticed, they don't get valued. But those are the players that you don't notice during the games. But the moment you take them off the pitch, you can start seeing problems. And you could see them, Marcel and Sancho, the last game when they came on, they just changed the whole game. They just have a very good relationship with the ball. And just they make it so much simpler and easier for their teammates. And those are the players that I like. I like players that are good themselves, but I like the players that improve the ones around them. And we need more players like that. And Sancho is one of those. And at least he's coming back. Martial, he just can't stay fit.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. Martial, I will discuss tomorrow because I need some time to dissect the Martial situation. But Zayn is currently eating toffees at Everton. Zayn Mias has gone missing today. Obviously, Arsenal fans are missing today. James, I thought Fred was man of the match today. Fred was absolutely quality, man. You know, when you need legs in that midfield, mate. You know, Sabitzer and Fred, listen, we're not going to be outnumbered in that midfield or outran in that midfield. I'll tell you that. We might lack certain qualities, but I tell you what, you know what I mean? Pressing and whatnot and intensity, we will have a lot of with Sabitzer and Fred. But Fred, for me, was outrageous, man. Especially, like people saying that I thought he had a good game overall, but I thought last 20 minutes, he just gave us that extra bit that we needed in midfield. We didn't get outnumbered in midfield. We didn't.
Yeah, listen, he's been excellent recently. He's technically improved under Ten Hag, but he's always been good off the ball. But just in the way we play now, he's so important. Like his energy and Bruno's energy off the ball is superb. And then Casemiro's ability off the ball is obviously superb. I just love Fred, man. Like, honestly, if I was a midfielder, I'd hate to play against Fred because you drop a shoulder, you turn, and then he's there. And then you turn again and he's there again. He's like a pit bull. He just doesn't let you go, mate. Wherever you go, he follows you. He literally is it's that low center of gravity, high agility, quick speed. And if he misses a tackle, he's straight back up and he goes again. He's just absolutely everywhere. And he gives everything for the shirt. I loved his quote a while ago where he's like, listen, I carry the piano for other people to play, I think is what he said. He realizes he's not the most technically gifted player in the world. And I know Adam touched on it before. We need these great players. We do. We obviously need great technically gifted players. But how many games has Martial played this season? How many games has Sancho played? You say you want those players in your team. Well, guess what? They're not in your team. So I want people like Fred who are giving 6, 7s out of 10 every single game. They can play Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday, whatever. Any day of the week they can play. I don't want a 9 out of 10 player that can play once every 2 months. I don't want that. So fix up that or don't be at the club. But people like Fred are invaluable. People like Bruno are invaluable because they are there week in, week out. When Bruno went down today and I thought he was injured, I literally had my head in my hands. I was like, that's one person we can't afford to get an injury to because there's no cover in his spot. There's none. Because if we put Sabitzer there as cover, then we've got no midfield. So it's like, literally, if he would have gone down missing, we'd be in a nightmare situation. And it's almost like that with Fred as well at the moment. He's almost... It's a complete 180-degree turn because he's almost invaluable to our team at the moment with our squad. He's incredible, mate, at the moment. I'm a big Fred fan at the moment.
Yeah. And he's honest. You can criticize his talents and this and that, and maybe he's not good enough. But that's fine. That's not his fault. He always gives you what he can give you. And you have to respect that to some point.
100%.
You know what, man? And also, Neeks here, I'm going to come to you next year. It's difficult to kind of praise Martinez without praising Varane. I just think for me, the whole defense needs a lot of praise, but the back two we need to praise as one because I don't think, yes, Martinez is probably, doing more recovery tackles or more defending better, but I think Varane equally leadership at the back, like they're just as a team, as a unit, bro, like Saliba and whatever, but these two here, like we need to talk, man. These guys have been underplaying Martinez and Varane at the back, and they've kind of looked at a performance that maybe City away, and they've looked, oh, you know what, they're not that great, etc., etc. But bro, these man are it, man. They are them. They are them.
Saeed, when it comes to someone like Varane, and Adam kind of touched on this. I think it was Adam was talking about Varane earlier, and he mentioned Carrick as well, and certain players. Varane is a player's player. He's not, and I say that and like someone like a Carrick was. If you talk to any player, when they talk about defenders or when they talk about centre backs and leaders and the importance of that kind of player, they're talking about a Varane, a Rio Ferdinand. To a lesser extent because of the longevity, a Van Dijk, for example. Those players who don't necessarily do all the dogged work. They're not sliding all over the place, getting their head bashed in and bandages and a warrior. They don't go out there for war. They go out there to do their job. Floyd Mayweather, he's going out there to win, and he ain't trying to get hit. Some people like to go in the ring and get into a scrap, and they come out there and say, "Yeah, I've done my job," and that's fair enough. But someone like Varane said, "No, I'm going to do my job." And I'm going to make sure that I'm not trying to look good doing it, but I just look good doing it. Yeah. And Varane, because he just looks good doing it, and it's a position that I guess is not it's not usual to look good doing it as a centre back. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves, and that's not to take away from Martinez because you need both. We had Rio and Vidic. Vidic was the warrior. Vidic was their goal head where head should not be put, but it needed to be put, and Rio was there to clean up and to bring the ball forward and to organize and distribute. And Vidic, but if you ask anyone now that at Rana who are the greatest centre backs in the Premier League history, most, especially players, put Rio ahead of Vidic. Now that's not to shit on Vidic, but as I said, he's up there. Varane, that kind of defender, is a player's player. He is phenomenal. I've rated him when he was at Real Madrid. He came into the team at 19. I think it was Jose Mourinho who put him in ahead of Pepe. And barring injuries, he has been extremely consistent. I think there might have been a year, 18 months at Real Madrid where injuries and other things he wasn't performing great. When Man City beat them at the Bernabeu. But outside of injuries, he is so consistent. And I think the partnership of him and Martinez is undisputed. Like I don't know what our win percentage is, but I know them two. It's probably one of the highest in Europe right now. Like it's unbelievable. I think he got a lot of last year because he brought in as this world-class centre back, but it negates all the other things that were happening around the club and expected him to carry the whole club on his back whilst everything was going on. And I think that was unfair. To this day, he still doesn't get the credit that he deserves. But I think Man United fans know how important he is to us. Luke Shaw came in at left centre back
and said it.
And nothing, but I don't want to say it, but nothing changed. And that's not the takeaway from Martinez, but it's to uplift Varane. That Varane can have a Luke Shaw, who I'm not criticizing Luke Shaw, but he's not a natural centre back, especially in the twos. But the partnership and the defense was still solid because Varane was there to lead and control. Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit.
And Luke Shaw said it himself. He said, "Yeah, it's been nice, but he said it's much easier when you play next to Rafa Varane." I think Luke Shaw himself said it, and he makes it look too easy for his own good. Varane, he's one of those players that you cannot appreciate unless you take him out of the team and say, you know what? And look, when he doesn't play, we struggle. The transition are slow. It's disrupted. It's not as good. It's not as fluent. It's not as calming for the fan as well. You're not on edge all the time when Varane plays. It makes the biggest difference. And I challenge any team to tell me that their starting 11 and their 2 starting centre backs are 2 world champions. I challenge any team to come and chat to me about this.
Yeah. Listen, we've got 2 in there. Wes, if you're looking at as well, Rashford scored again. Another goal for Rashford again. You know what I mean? He's doing it. The second goal for me was real Ten Hag ball. The way we play football.
Yeah. Amazing football, yeah. I mean, it was just, tiki taka, just fast tempo. I mean, it was just. I think that's our only proper attacking play the whole game. I mean, we were struggling, and of course, you have to give credit to Palace that they're just a difficult side. It's just like when you're boxing, you knock someone down, they always get up. You're like, freaking hell! This is stay down. That's a bit of what I feel with Palace. But the move, like it is a proper team goal, like how we set it up, switch of play, the movements around the 16-yard box, and then the cross from Luke Shaw. I mean, just in such a high tempo. And Rashford, he did everything right. It's not too much power, just opens his foot up, and but that was a brilliant goal, and I loved it. And it came at such a crucial time because that calmed a bit down. But I mean, in hindsight, not really much because a few minutes later we got a red card. But I mean, I calmed a bit down for yes, that's the second goal we needed because otherwise with Palace, maybe another Olise screaming, you never know.
Yeah, you know what's mad? I was in the stadium and I thought, that's it now, job's done. I was getting excited, etc., etc. David De Gea made a great save, by the way, just before the 2-0. And that's when I thought, no, today's our day. And then they equalized. I think Fred got caught napping and then kind of they peeled away from Fred and obviously they got the goal then. But listen, James, man, you know what I mean? Nobody can stop Man United at home. We keep rolling on. You know what I mean? Like it's happy days, man. And like I said, Ten Hag, we've got a trophy coming up as well. It's crazy to think the journey this United team have been on. But I said it at the start of the season, I said it now. United are built different now. United are not, the team that will just fold and the resilience. You could see, what's crazy about United now? Like Varane and Martinez, the way they communicate with the crowd. Last year, Maguire and Lindelof, what would they have done? Head down. Head down.
These two.
Now, they want to lift you as a fan. Chest up. Everybody get on. Like, this is the motivation. They're motivating us. We motivate them. That's how we're doing it this season. Simple.
Yeah, we are built different this season, mate. There's no 2 ways about that. Our fighting spirit is completely different. The belief around the stadium, in the fans and in the team and in the manager is completely different. And no more, it's no more fitting than at the moment when on Monday is the 65th anniversary of the Munich air disaster, where obviously half our team was decimated like on the 6th of February in 1958, right? So to have a team that goes out there, that gives everything for the badge, that fights, that shows passion, that shows desire, that understands what it means to play for Manchester United is what it's all about, and especially on a day like today. And I love the tribute before the match. It was very fitting. The minute silence was perfectly observed. And I just think we are completely different. It's how I understand Manchester United. I've always grown up around that story. I've always grown up around the fact that United, like, they conquer everything in the face of adversity every single time. And yes, we can go down to 10 men. Yes, they can grab a goal, but we're still going to win. Yes, we can get our best players suspended, but we're still going to go and win our next 3 games. I come from a place where Manchester United achieve the impossible, mate. That's what they do, which is why I get laughed at for title challenge hype and all that, because I am always going to believe as a Manchester United fan, and you'll never take me away, because I have seen this club do more ridiculous things than any of your club could ever imagine. I've seen us literally lose half our team in 58. We got to the cup final that year. We came second in the league the next year. We won the league 5 years later. We won the European Cup 10 years later. We had no team. I've seen us do ridiculous things. I've seen us be 1-0 down in the final in 99 with 90 minutes gone and win 2-1. I've seen ridiculous thing after ridiculous thing from Manchester United, and Ten Hag has brought that culture of just finding a way to get things done back. And that's why we're 13 in a row at home. That's why we're 1 loss in 23. And that's why we're going to have a really good season, mate. It's different this year.
Adam, you echo that as well. You know what I mean? How's your mood now as a United fan? Obviously, it's been a long journey, but again, we're on the upward trajectory right now. Third in the league, 2 points ahead of, forget Liverpool, forget Chelsea. They're not catching us this season. Top 4 for me, you might as well just write it now. I think top 4 secured. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think Chelsea catches. Liverpool and them, man, got too many problems. We're at least minimum, and it shouldn't be a trophy, by the way. I'm not celebrating top 4, but I'm just saying that's going to be the base. And I think third, plus a trophy, plus consistency, the team morale. I think it's good news, man. It's good news so far.
It is. And just, I remember when we had busy schedules when Ole was still here, and I was like, I was pissed off we had a game. Like, I was almost wishing for lab meetings at university and stuff like that. So, you know what? I can't watch the game, but I was watching the games. I just had to. And now we have a game every 3.5 days. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take my sweet time, pour myself
exactly.
a mug of coffee, and then we go for a bit of football. And I love it because I rate the manager. The players, I have never thought I would rate or at least not dislike some of these players, because I have never disliked a bunch of players as much as I did with these lot last season. And some of the players I haven't forgiven too many of them, to be honest. I'm yet to forgive Luke Shaw. I'm yet to forgive Rashford as well, because those players knew that Ragnick was leaving and said, you know what, I couldn't care less. I have the right passport and this guy is leaving, and I will get the love back once I start playing well again. And I don't like this. But Ten Hag is just, you overslept, Marcus. You are not starting the game. And this is fair. And so, this player is not playing well. You're not playing, and that's fine. You get smashed by Brentford. Well, that thing that's 13 kilometers running the next day. And I rate that. Because for once, it's fair. This is the thing that bugs me for the last 3 years. We have developed this culture of getting stuff you don't deserve. Players getting contracts they don't deserve. Players getting numbers they don't deserve, getting starting spots that they don't deserve. And then all of a sudden, of course, you're getting the whole place completely rotten to the core. Of course, you can't build something good on a dead foundation. And now trust and fairness and honesty and stop the leaks. And all of a sudden, we are seeing good results. Almost as if being honest from the word go could actually lead to something good. And this is how you should treat everything. Be honest, and be honest in what you do, and go for your teammates, play for your teammates, and play with a sense of responsibility and duty for the badge. And we haven't seen that for many years, which is a bit surprising, because the last full-time manager is someone that knows and loves this club. So it has been a very, very rough period. And I think it feels to me also that our faith and our destiny is sort of related to Arsenal's. If we get good, they get good. And City is related to Liverpool. And at the moment, United on the up trajectory, Arsenal as well, and City and Liverpool struggling. And I hope this continues. I really, really hope. Because I would love to fight Arsenal for the next 10 years for Premier League titles and getting 70% of the titles, because that's what we used to. I would love it to happen again.
Nix, what are you saying? What's your kind of feeling on the progress now so far? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing, the turnaround, isn't it? Like, you're just more confident. You can speak about Man United now, with passion, with happiness now. You know what I mean? There's no in-house fighting. Everybody's coming to the game now, like 4 or 5 hours early. I think Ten Hag came to the ground today. I think it was 10 a.m. Like, bro, this guy is crazy. And I will talk about that with Wes as well, because I know he's Dutch as well. But bro, this guy's coming like to games early, like 4 or 5 hours. Like, it's mad.
As Adam said, in it, like I don't want us to have all these games because I'm thinking about fatigue, but I'm happy to watch Man United. Man United playing again, yeah, Man United's playing again, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna watch it back, and I'm gonna watch all the highlights. I'm gonna watch Match of the Day and the one that's on, and then I'm gonna listen to the spaces. Then I'm gonna listen to the I'm consumed by Man United right now, like I used to be in the last, not even just the last 3 years, in the last 10 years. I mean, I just haven't liked Man United. Give or take a season here or there, I haven't enjoyed football in that way. And it's been disappointing, but not to get ahead of ourselves. But I back 10%. The knives have been out for him from before he even got the job, because a lot of the media wanted Pochettino. And a lot of the other media wanted Conte. And then Conte got the Spurs job, they got top 4, and that was evidence that Man United missed out on the right manager. And here we are, over a year later, and they're not saying that Man United missed out on Conte. They're not saying that Man United missed out on Pochettino. Yet they're trying to find little things to pick at. We win a game, we're through to a cup final, and people are talking about Anthony doing tricks. We win a game, and people are saying that Casemiro should have been arrested. Like, that's the level of pettiness that you're seeing out in the media, and I love it, because it means that we're doing well. Because if they can't criticize on our performances and our results, they find that's how it always used to be. So I'm excited to be a Man United fan right now. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but I need to get that trophy. Get that trophy against Newcastle. Listen, I don't like Newcastle. Yeah. I don't mind Newcastle, but the fans hate Man United. The Newcastle fans hate Manchester United. So I hope and pray we deal with them in that final. And on top of that, I prefer Spurs to get top 4 over them. I'm not gonna lie. So,
and you know what? Just quickly, Saeed, if I can add something quickly, because I know I talked a lot today, so I'd like to apologize. But just if you want me to end the season very happy, I think we need to buy players, and we need to buy good and smart and intelligent players. Like, for example, Ragnick, when he left, he wanted Nkunku, he wanted Zakaria, he wanted Enzo Fernandez and Alvarez for about 10 million each. And look at Enzo Fernandez. I don't know if people watched the Chelsea game yesterday, and what are your thoughts on the player? But boy, that looks like a problem I would have loved United to buy. I really, really would. And those are the players that I trust Erik ten Hag to say, you know what, look, there's a gem in France. He's in there. He plays, I don't know, for Angers or whatever. Maybe go get that guy. And that, if we get a trophy, we get the top 4-ish. I would love to finish close to second, let's say. If we get a trophy this and we get smart business, I can't wait for next season.
Breaking news: Erik ten Hag to play Gandalf in new movies. Listen, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Wes, just gonna come to you and just kind of like, Ten Hag, the Dutch, your Dutch compatriot. Yeah, man, we can't speak more highly of him, but obviously you know him more than us. He's changing the kind of the fortunes of Man United, man, and he's guiding us to the right path.
He did the same. He did the same at Ajax, mate. I mean, I haven't watched Ajax loads live, but of course I've watched it loads of times on television. And it's just, he is so ruthless with his discipline and rules. Like, it's like a sort of a scary teacher. You don't want to disappoint. That's what I've heard about Fergie. Like, I'm not that old, so I haven't. I mean, of course, I've seen all the history about Man United, but I'm just a young guy who's yet to see Man United succeed, So I'm glad we're slowly building it, and I'm hoping I will be able to see that soon. But yeah, I mean, Ten Hag is he just revolutionized everything. I mean, you see everyone in the club is on board. Sorry, wait a sec. Someone take over.
Yeah. But again, like I said, this is what it is, man. Sandeep says El Zogbia was mid yesterday. Stop hyping him.
He was
Who's
class.
that?
Enzo Fernandez.
Oh yeah. Wow, he's called him Exombia. You know, that's crazy, man. That's I don't know what he was saying there. Exombia. That's crazy, man. But yeah, it's mad. What was he gonna say, Wes?
I don't know. I lost track. I heard some echo, so I turned something off. I heard some sound. What was I at? Totally forgot. I was talking about Ten Hag. Yeah, his ruthlessness, how he revolutionized the team. Oh yeah, as I said, I think we're close. Like we're building. Like we're slowly getting there. And I mean, if we can get a trophy this season in top 4, and as Adam said, spot on with what Adam said, with smart business, and that's why I when you can compare to the Ajax situation, like I don't know if you're not Dutch, so maybe you don't know what the situation at Ajax is now. It's a total mess now at Ajax. Like they don't know what they're doing. Like the whole structure at the club with Van der Sar and the whole director board there, they don't know what they're doing. Like the stability is not there. You see it immediately. That's so important in every football structure, and I think we will see completely different. I mean, I'm already surprised at the way we've done business. Like we've actually done smart business for such a long time. Like we've spent silly money. Like all the loan deals we did. Like I mean, Butland's maybe not relevant, but Weghorst and Sabitzer. Like I was surprised we got Sabitzer that in such a short space, and also a quality player who can help us. That shows that the people around the club and Ten Hag are working together. Like, what do you want? Like, what's the type of player you want? And the scouting system is gradually getting better. And I think we will see some good signings in the summer. Of course, it's also you need to sell. But I'm said there's still players at the club who we need to move on. Most of us know who they are. Don't want to get into that. But if you can do that as well, and you get good players in for a good price, and Man United are on the up, then it's also appealing to other players to come to the club. And that's what we've been missing for such a long time. Like, I'm sure all the players have social media and see all the things that's happening. Like, if you see Man United, like, for example, like last season, every team came to Old Trafford and thought, here we go, we can get a point, or maybe 3. Not this time. No. They thought, oh shit, Man United, dang it, it's going to be very difficult. And it's the change of mentality. And also, players will see it, like they're not blind. So the whole project of Man United is now interesting. What before, like 2 or 3 years ago, was City, Liverpool, and yeah, as the famous word said in the beginning, eras come to an end.
Yeah, come on, say it louder.
That's it, and that's probably the best way to end the debate show. Big up to Nick Manson, big up Said Casemiro, big loss, can't lie, but hopefully Sabitzer can slot in. By the way, Liverpool are shite. Make sure you come Chris on the Big 6 tomorrow. Yeah, on a Sunday. But yeah, listen, he will, man. Don't worry, man. He's had a break and he's going to be back in the Lions' den. But listen, people, we need around 40 more likes to reach 500 likes. That would be amazing. Still over 900 of you watching, so let's get 40 more likes. Big up to the panel for coming on. Everybody, make sure you go follow Neeks Sport. Neeks, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back. And, 13 wins in a row, Trafford. Hopefully we can get a couple more before that final.
Absolutely. Wes, let them know, man, where they can find you as well. You got a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, I've slowed it down a bit. You can always see my Twitter. It's the same as the West Express Football. That's where I tweet my thoughts on the games, on football itself. So yeah, been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got good knowledge, man, on the game. So appreciate you. James, big up, man. East Stand massive. You know what I mean? Big up, man.
I might have to sit there more often, mate. Every time I sit near you, we seem to win. So long may it continue. But yeah, James Dixon _PT on Twitter, James Dixon PT on Instagram, Football and Fitness United on YouTube. Come follow me, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The fitness and footy content, and big up Saeed as always. Congrats on 60k and keep crushing it, man.
Yeah, congrats, Saeed.
Congrats, man, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Adam, man, the professor. Thank you, man, for coming on.
No worries, my bro. Adam Manred on Twitter. I usually get a lot of smoke for criticizing Rashford, so and you can't ever explain your positions on Twitter because you don't.
Stop criticizing him, then.
Maybe next time I'll explain why, because it's not just
Doesn't help.
Yeah, you know what's mad about Adam? Yeah, I see a tweet and it's blew up, and I'm like, who is this? Oh, it's Adam. I'm like, damn, Adam. Damn, Adam. What's going on?
And we have time delays. Like we are 5 hours behind you here in Quebec.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
I go to school. I just united on my mind. I tweet something. I say, "Yeah, I'm not happy with this." And then I finish lectures. I have the notifications off. I come on and
Yeah.
bro, I'm getting smoked.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
telling you,
that's-
man. I feel like I'm there for you, man. I'm rooting for you. But listen, it's all about opinion. And yeah, man, big up to everybody who's been here. Please like the video on your way out. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow, man. Lots of content tomorrow. I'll see you there. Tottenham versus Man City, Milan derby. So we'll be covering it all tomorrow. So make sure you're here, man. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Peace.